Christina Tsikata, and I live in Vancouver. I was born in Langley, just outside of Vancouver. I'm expecting Sinclair, a little boy, in a couple of months, first child, recently married. I'm a music therapist. I work at a nursing home here in Vancouver. I love, accept, and appreciate all of me. I bring peace, and I am at peace. 1, 2, 3, a little music keeps me feeling good. A little coffee, like I knew I could. A great big hug, and I'm okay. And I can make it through this day. A little singing would be right on time. A little loving, and I'm feeling fine. Sunshine through my window pane, and I can make it through this day. Here's the kind of people I like, ones that are kind and treat me right. That's why I think I love our little job. I was born in 1984. I was the third child in my family. My parents are immigrants. My dad is from England, my mom is from Holland. And they met on a blind date and fell in love here in Vancouver. We were a big soccer family, so my dad being from England, he coached all of us, and we played a lot of soccer in our youth. Music club, oh yeah, our little Java music club, oh yeah. I have an older brother and an older sister. Our weekends were filled with going to each other's soccer games and supporting each other. My dad worked very hard. He had a full-time job, and then he coached. At one point he was coaching 6 days a week between my team and my sister's team, and then my brother's team. At one point he coached all of us. So. And my mom was a nurse. She's retired now. I started playing piano when I was 4. Propensity for music. I was very musical as a kid, and my mom put us all in lessons. She always wanted to learn piano but never got a chance. I stopped when I was in grade 10, so about 16. I stopped taking lessons, but picked up guitar. I took a course in high school and really enjoyed that. Once I started learning guitar, I used it as a tool to work through difficult experiences and emotions. I would start writing songs that were very personal and that no one else got to hear. I get so high when it's just you and I. Come closer, not close enough. Now take me oh. Then I went to Whistler. Whistler's a ski resort here, just a couple hours out of Vancouver. So I lived there for a couple of years. I mostly was working and snowboarding and partying, having a good time. Whistler's quite a bubble. Your whole life is just about skiing and the mountain, and you don't really kind of know what's going on in the world. So I was bored with that and wanted to know what was happening and wanted to make a difference in the world. So I went back to school. Went to Victoria. I was really drawn to the island, Vancouver Island, and took some general studies there. I took some sociology, Spanish, and religious studies. So I wanted to learn about the world's religions. My family is not religious family. So I grew up in Langley's a very Christian town. My folks were, I wouldn't say anti-Christian, but had their opinions about Christianity. And so we were just a regular family. We didn't go to church or anything like that. So I was curious. I was mostly interested in the Eastern religions and Buddhism and Islam, and didn't really know anything about them. So I took this course. You know, it's interesting what happens when you really have a desire to learn something, and God gives you all these opportunities. So I started learning about spirituality. There's like a weekly kind of workshop that the university put on. It's called Sessions in Spirituality. So I started going to that. They had different speakers from all different backgrounds, and there's a meditation group. So I started learning to meditate and quiet my mind, which was very busy mind. So that was that was a good skill. One of the friends I had met at another meeting earlier that day, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to this meditation group. Do you want to come?" And she said, "Yeah, but I'm going to this Baha'i thing." She didn't really know what it was either. After, and so, "Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll come." So I thought I was going to talk. So I thought I would be just a passive listener, but I get there and it's a group sitting down, maybe 5 people sitting down, reading this piece of paper and talking. I remember not really understanding because the text was rich and a little difficult for me to understand. But that day when I was meditating, part of the meditation, we pick a word and you just focus on that word and let all your thoughts just kind of float away. And the word that I picked, which was a different one, was oneness. So I was meditating on oneness, and I got into a very, very deep meditation. And then after, I was invited to this talk with the Baha'is, and of course I learned that the Baha'i faith is all about oneness, and we were talking about oneness. So this was a confirmation that I was on the right path. While we were talking, in one of the writings, it was talking about the cause. What is this cause you're talking about? And so the Baha'is explained that the Baha'i faith is about the oneness of mankind, the oneness of God, and that this cause is to unite all of humanity. And everything they were sharing with me was resonating very deeply within my heart and my spirit. So I was very happy and of course very skeptical, and they were so kind and so nice. I remember the young man who greeted me. I was struck by just the kindness in his eyes. I was very, very drawn to him in a way that I hadn't experienced before. It was not a sexual attraction or a physical attraction, it was a spiritual attraction. So that's something that was really new for me. At that time, I had just moved to Victoria. I was going through a breakup. I was in a relationship when I left, and this man stopped communicating with me. I tried calling, he wouldn't answer his calls. So I was very hurt at the time and confused. when I met with the Baha'is, I befriended one of the Baha'is befriended me. We became very close very quickly, and this idea that I was created noble, that I was not my body, was very, very healing for me. When I met some of the Baha'i friends, one of my friends, Lisa, she recognized that I had this gift with music, and she really, really encouraged me to share, at first just with her, to share some of the songs I had created. And I was so nervous and shy. Actually, at first I just gave her a tape. And I remember when I performed for her, just in her living room, I asked her, don't look at me. So she was kind of facing the opposite way, has their head down, not really looking at me. And this was someone I felt really close to and I trusted. I really didn't think it was any good. I thought that no one's ever gonna want to hear this music. This was kind of a reflection of how I felt about myself. When Lisa encouraged me to play, it was maybe a week or two later, the Baha'is were holding an open mic on the university. So she encouraged me to play at that. And I was starting to recognize that when I did something that required courage, that good things happened. I agreed, and I practiced like crazy. I had 3 songs that I was going to perform. So I got up there. I was so nervous, I was shaking, and I performed these 3 songs that I had written. Almost like an out-of-body experience. I'm playing and I'm hearing myself playing, but I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm playing right now in front of all these people. There's a dialogue going on in my head, and yet I'm still singing the words and playing the chords, and I'm like, oh no, wait, I have to concentrate. That was my first experience. Every morning, every evening, ain't we got fun? Not much money, oh, but honey, ain't we got fun? The rent's unpaid, dear, we haven't a car. But anyway, dear, we'll stay as we are. Even if we owe the grocer, ain't we got fun? I met Gergana, and Gergana was one of the directors of the choir, and she was a professor at the Conservatory of Music in Victoria. She said, oh, have you heard of music therapy? I'm like, no, I've never heard of music. What's music therapy? So I started learning about music therapy. It seemed like a really good fit, because basically music therapy is you're developing your skills as a musician, and then you're learning about psychology, and then you learn how to apply music to help people, essentially. When I met the Baha'is, they invited me to say prayers together. I adamantly refused because I had this idea of praying that wasn't part of my experience. So I was like, no, that's not for me. I don't feel comfortable praying. Even though the meditation that I had been doing, it is praying. And verily thou art there, Lord, leave them not to themselves, but guide their my friends invited me to join a study circle. So this study circle is where we essentially study the Baha'i writings and then learn to put them into practice within an intimate group. So we're all learning together. I didn't want to commit to being a Baha'i or being part of any religion, but I was experimenting. So I would try like not smoking pot and meditating and see how I felt. Because I had these ideas that drugs got you higher, that got you closer to God. And so I experimented. I said, okay, I'm going to meditate totally sober, and then I'm going to meditate after smoking a joint. And I was wrong. I was like, oh, I don't get higher. I wanted to be like these people that I knew, these Baha'i friends. I saw them as very pure, and they would always laugh when I described them that way. But really sincere, genuinely kind people. And I wanted to be like that. And I wanted to have real conversations all the time. You know, a lot of my conversations with friends were just kind of talking about other people. We're very gossipy. And when I was with my Baha'i friends, it was like we were learning all the time. We were talking about, you know, what we can do to make the world a better place, or what we can do to make ourselves better, which, you know, will change the world. So it was like a magnet. I was very drawn to the Baha'is. I had decided, yes, I'm gonna do it, and then I got really, really scared. It's like, I can't do it, I'm not good. Like, again, this I'm not good enough came like, I can't be like these people that I met. Like, they're so amazing, and it's such a huge commitment to agree to be a Baha'i. Well, often I make decisions with my heart, and I feel that it's right, and I know it's right, and I go for it. In the meantime, my friend who I had said, like, yeah, I'll join, invited me to a Baha'i feast. And I didn't know that, you know, at that time the feasts were meant for just Baha'is to come. And then I got there and everyone's like, oh, congratulations, when did you declare your faith? And I was like, I don't know. And I remember one young man who I had met, who's a Baha'i. I met him at the door of the feast. It was at a community center. And I'm like, well, I don't really know if I have declared. And he said, when you decide in your heart, then you're a Baha'i. And that gave me so much. I was like, oh, okay, like I don't have to decide right now. So many wonderful things have happened since I've become a Baha'i. I met my wonderful husband, Charles, through the Baha'i faith. He's very active in the community. He's a very social man. I was holding a devotional gathering. It was the first time I had hosted. I was worried no one was going to come and was going to cancel. And then my friend Ray, he encouraged me. He said, no, we should have it. And then he encouraged Charles to come, and Charles came to my house. So I get to say, when people say, where'd you ask my husband? Where'd you meet your husband? I said, he came right to my house. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. I think for my dad and my brother, it was the most challenging. One of the big changes is I stopped drinking, and I used to drink beer with my family, like my dad and my brother. It was like a bonding thing. It was our time together. And actually my grandparents were pub keepers, pub owners in England. So it's not just like that drinking's a part of our culture. Like, drinking was a big part of our family. So I think that was hard for them to understand why I would stop doing that. It doesn't matter your past. If your heart is searching, the answer will come like a breeze.